Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be trying to build a niche site from scratch and taking you through kind of my thought process and how to do this. I am a complete novice. I've written a few blogs in my time. I ranked for random keywords in my time, but I've never had a very structured approach to it. And so what I wanted to do here is create a site that is in a very, and I'll take you through the thought process behind it, in a niche that I can control, or at least I have some prior knowledge of, I have some authority on, I have not insider knowledge, but knowledge from my job that, and tips and tricks and things like that will be very handy. Then I want to find an area of that allows me to rank very quickly, but most importantly rank for a long time, and rank very, very highly. So I would rather rank top 1 in, or top 3 in Google for something that no one else is a lot of people are searching for, maybe 500 people a month, rather than something that is 2,000 a month, but I'm on page 2. The drop off on that's going to be too strong. So I've already bought the domain, and the way I picked the domain, actually I just bought it last year and had an idea, but the domain isn't that relevant to the exact niche I'm going for. It's part of a bigger plan in the future to maybe branch this site into something else, but it doesn't make much of a difference for this challenge. It's a professional sounding site and wouldn't cause any kind of problems in terms of it's not completely unrelated to this. So the reason I found the domain actually after, I would typically find the domain after the niche. I actually found a niche that just happened to fit very well in the domain I currently had. But what I wanted to find is something that had a cross section of my knowledge and low volume but low competition, I should say. So the idea being, I don't want to be competing with loads and loads of people. In fact, for the keywords I found, I don't think I'm going to be competing with anyone who is writing any kind of user-generated content. It's mostly going to be government bodies and things like that, which obviously have very high authority, but sometimes when you're looking for information on things, you want something that is a bit more plainly spoken than a government website. It's kind of the idea. And I'm looking at it from a slightly different perspective in terms of I'll share the same information that the government shares, but I'll also add my twists and turns to it and advice and things like that. There's lots of content. It's a very rich niche, rich enough. I mean, I think there's enough to write for 6 to 12 months if I was writing at 10,000 words per month. So the idea is I'm going to launch this site. I've got a basics up and running today, but I haven't written anything. I've written absolutely nothing. And then I will be writing 2,500 words per week as a minimum. That gives me 10,000 per month, which is probably around 20 articles a month. I'm probably not going to do more than 500 words an article. I might go longer. If anyone has any tips on this, please do let me know. I am, as I said, a complete novice. So this is for people who want to follow someone who is just learning as they're doing it, rather than someone who is a complete, SEO whiz and a guru. And yes, they have lots of advantages and they can teach you lots of things, but watching someone else who's in the same exact situation as you is a whole different thing. So the way I found my keywords were a couple of ways. I used lots of random keywords here, and on the keyword planner. Now the keyword planner is obviously out of date, but if I was going to say working in London as an international student, which is related to the sort of things I'm going to be looking at, you can get a rough idea of the volume and competition for something like that. In fact, there's not a single person who's looked for that. But working in the UK as an international student, only 10 to 100 people, probably not worth it. But potentially it's so low volume that you probably will scoop up and rank top 3. And if there's 100 people a month coming in from that, that's substantial. Because you don't need that many articles at 100 a month to suddenly have quite a lot of visitors. If you're pumping out 30 a month at 100, that's 3,000 people a month that you're going to be kind of capturing. If it's more like 10, then probably not worth going for. So say for example you are looking for, I'm trying to think of a niche, mobile phone provider cheap UK. This will be a very high competition. Where is it? Mobile phone provider. Oh, come on. What's going on here? See that again. Don't know how to use the software that I'm working on here. So imagine, to give you something a bit easier to work with, we are looking for fidget spinners. I'm assuming they must have something for that. So high competition, but 10 100k average searches. This is in the UK. I like to target based on geography. If you get some spill out, my niche is going to be in the kind of visa space basically. It's going to be very targeted around the UK and the systems and laws we have here. But fidget spinners, this is obviously UK only. If we were to go sort of global, or at least add the United States in, you may find that there's a huge amount of people on it. 100k to 1 million. So if you're ranking on top of that, you'd be in a very good place. However, for something like that, you're going to be competing against people like Amazon and people selling via Amazon and all sorts of big manufacturers and sellers. So the principle is you find something that is, here we've got 100k. This is something I accidentally ranked for on my blog. I had 100, I think it was something about renting my spare room. I ranked number 3 for house hacking UK. And that's just something that's very common in the US, but not common in the UK. So you can obviously very frequently find geographical arbitrage opportunities where someone's got a blog that's, or a site that is for their niche in the US, when actually there's quite a lot of work that can be done here in the UK. And so you want to look for things that are growing, like the Student Visa UK. This is again related to my niche. I'm just showing you what my niche is because I don't think anyone's really watching this, and if they are, they're welcome to try and steal this niche from me. Yeah, this is just more of an example to sort of for you to all follow along. So say you're at 900% increase year on year. That's obviously a pretty good thing. This is more because something brand new came out and it's kind of triggered that conversation rather than anything else. So there's all sorts of things you can search for on here that gives you quite a good understanding, and I would just play around with it. But if I was taking the graduate visa example, UK, you've already got how long does it take, application process, processing time, requirements, cost, just in that autocomplete. But then also if you add working hours, you've got working hours, you've got all sorts of different things. So what I've done for my niche is basically break down all the different questions you could ever ask in that area. Like, if you're on a visa, in this example, what would my dependent do? And you can see there's a government website, there are a couple of university websites, and then there's some lawyers. That's fine. Obviously, lawyers are good people to listen to, but the information they share is going to be set in a very different vein to someone who's doing it from more of a kind of blog perspective. 1.1 million results, so a lot, but in this world, that's not that many. Ranking for this, generally, that's going to be quite difficult. But ranking for something very specific around their visa, around the cost of moving their dependent, something like that, probably very doable. So I am going to now go away and I'm going to write all of the I'm going to go away and write all of the content that I feel is necessary for this. I'm going to write at least 2,500 words today. Today is Sunday. Is it the 8th? I should really know this. 7th of August. And if you want to follow along and see how I get on with this, be my guest. And I'll be updating obviously volume and keyword metrics and things like that. Initially, it'll probably just be me updating what I've written on, the volume of words and things like that. I don't expect this to be successful overnight and ranking very, very quickly. So follow along, and I look forward to seeing you in the comment section.